Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well and welcome to today's video. Today we are speaking about your first court appearance. If you are here, it's because you are going to court for the first time and you are nervous as hell as to how will things pan out. Let's get into today's video. First of all, no matter how much you've watched Legally Blonde, whether you've watched it twice or 3 times and both Legally Blonde 1 and 2, and you think wearing pink is a good idea, don't do it. Not in South African courts at least. Do not wear a hot pink suit. Whatever you do, don't do that. We don't do that in South African courts. Number 2, be on time. Court starts at 8:30. Especially motion court, which is most likely to be the first place you are going to be sent to alone. So don't go to get there before 8:30 in order for you to introduce yourself to the presiding officer. So get there and introduce yourself. So court starts at 8:30. Be there at least by 8:15 so that you get a chance to introduce yourself and also be familiar with the courthouse. So one thing you need to do is to be in time. Number 3, if you don't get a chance to introduce yourself in chambers, when you appear, so when your matter is called and you actually get there late, you first apologize, explain to why you didn't introduce yourself. This time around, we have this thing of COVID where there's a notice that do not come into chambers because of the COVID rules or whatever. So you tell the court that I'm not here because of blah, 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 blah. So that's what you do. And then before speaking about your matter, because if you don't, flames are going to be seen. I'm going to tell you a story time once about that in my case. Then when you are handing stuff to the court, by the court I mean to the presiding officer, when you are handing in stuff, you're going to ask for leave to actually hand over whatever it is that you're handing over. If you want to speak to your client, this is a different matter. Say for example it's a criminal matter and then your client raises their hand and the presiding officer probably has not seen them, because if your client raises a hand and the presiding officer is there, the presiding officer is going to tell you that your client wants to speak to you. Then you say, may I have leave to approach. So you approach your client, you speak about whatever it is, and if you need to convey a message to the court, you tell the court. If not, the agent court would say, but properly say that the client was just speaking to you about administrative matters or whatever the case might be. And then what's the other thing? Other thing is standing. When do you stand? You stand when the presiding officer is entering the courtroom, and then you'll sit after ningahlala phansi. You stand when you are addressing the court, unless it is a room with the same surface, so you can't stand and be taller than the court. When you are making your arguments, unless court says no, you can thingy. You also stand when you are cross-examining. So you stand and you speak when your opponent is addressing. You sit when your opponent is addressing the court. So you stand when you speak and then you sit when the other person is speaking. You do not stand at the same time, because it would mean that you want the court to get your attention, and then all of that, yeah, boy? And another thing, you need to know who are you appearing for. Are you appearing for the applicant, or are you appearing for the plaintiff, or are you appearing for the appellant? Are you appearing for the defendant or the respondent? Who exactly are you appearing for? You need to get that sorted before you get to court. No. And then if it's a criminal matter, you need to go in and see the person in the grids or in the cells before the court actually sits. So you need to actually go on to, could actually even ask a cop being a court orderly to assist you with going into grids if you so that you introduce yourself. If the person is out on bail, you're then going to go and introduce yourself to the person, call them if you have their number and tell them ukuthi ungaphandle, so that bangathuki ukuthi okay, no, I didn't have this person, I had ubani. Maybe they speaking about your principal. No, I didn't ask for this one, I asked for this person. Then the person won't have to say that because bayazi ukuthi khona wena and who are you. Sorted. What do you do if the court says the court can't see you? So you're in court and then you start speaking and then the court says, I can't see you, Miss Asanda. We're like, what the hell is happening? This is what the court means. It's either you are dressed inappropriately or whatever the case might be. So the first thing, let's say you are dressed inappropriately, or if the court says it doesn't see you, is you go onto the witness box, you address the court and say, maybe you are not dressed because of this. You are wearing a pink shirt and a pink dress, whatever it is, you tell the court, you address the court into ubani, why are you wearing this? And then if they say, okay, you can appear, you appear. If they're saying, you then ask the court to stand the matter down so that you maybe call your principal to come in and do whatever it is that you need to do, or maybe ask the court to stand down so that you can go and buy a shirt if you need to buy a shirt. Or if it's a regional court and the court says, I'm a candidate attorney, you state to stand it down, you ask for whoever, or you make arrangements with the prosecutor, which was something that is something that's usually done. Arrangements with the prosecutor, okay, the CA is here but will not appear because it's the regional court, so the CA is here but will date or postpone, so the court will not appear before it because you don't have a right to appear there, but you'll be there and the court will acknowledge your presence. Okay, to the part that you've all been waiting for. My story time. How I had a bad court day. It was not a bad court day because my order was granted, but I got to court late. I didn't introduce myself. I didn't even get to court very late. I didn't introduce myself, so the first thing that happened was Kisugumege. Stand up, tell the court to ngizele kwiMethayaba. And the court, AsandaNtini, where are you from? I say. So yada. Gave me a whole speech about how I didn't introduce myself. So that went south. I was crying. I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even know what to do. Like I was so mad that I couldn't even respond to Imetayam. And then I got the file late, which is the reason why I actually even got to court late. I got the file late, so there were questions that I could have answered if I didn't panic about Utethi, so I didn't introduce myself. And that was my first time going alone, because before that I had appeared in a criminal court, because this one was a motion court. So again, I was intimidated by the fact that I get to this court and there's a bunch of men in court in black gowns, which are attorneys obviously, and it's so full. And then I get in there and then I didn't introduce myself, and then the court says, you didn't introduce yourself. I wanted to cry, run away, move to Italy and never come back. So because I didn't introduce myself, then I asked the court to stand the matter down so that I get to whatever it is that's in court. So one other tip is make yourself familiar with the case. If it's a civil matter and it's an application and you're just going to finalize an application, a simple application like a rescission, you need to know where people served and where were they served. So those simple things that you need to know: where were they served? Was the service received? Was it the proper service? Because if you are serving and you decide to serve via email and there is no written agreement as to you are going to serve on email, there's a magistrate who could say, I'm not going to accept this form of service because you didn't agree. So you need to do that. And then I apologize, and then that magistrate is actually now my favorite magistrate. He even knows my name. Whenever he sees me, always, how are you, AsandaNtini? Like we have, and when we were finished, because we finished the matter in his chambers, he informed me, why did he do that? He said, you'll never forget, you have to introduce myself. And believe me, I'm in a court that I've been to before, the first question I ask when I get to court, and especially when I'm alone, I used to actually get there very early and ask, who's the magistrate that's here? Is it the same magistrate that I've appeared before? And they say, yeah, no, Magistrate Thomas here. And I then relax. If not, I go there, introduce myself, though I've been to court many times. If I didn't get to introduce myself, because I did again have an incident where I didn't introduce myself because I didn't become mindful of the fact that there is now a new magistrate in motion court. I apologized, as I've stated in some of my tips. Could you apologize? You say why you didn't introduce yourself, and then I proceeded with my matter. You don't just show up. It's like going to umuzi womuntu, doing whatever you want just because you can. With this profession, you need to understand that respect is something that's really, really taken seriously. Respect of seniors, respect of presiding officers, respect of whoever, because if you don't, your life is going to be miserable. They make sure of that. They make sure that you remember Uguti, who they are, wherever you are. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you're going to apply all of these tips, and good luck on your first court appearance. Do not be nervous, do not cry like I did. Do not, if you make a mistake, if you have notes and you want to be sure of something, check out your notes, ask the court to bear with you, be calm. I think the best thing that you need to do is be calm. By the end of my articles, I was using calmness drops. I'm not gonna name them because you're going to say medical practitioner or AsandaNtini, but I used to use calming drops so that, because I stutter, when the moment that I stutter, I start being nervous and then I mess up the whole thing. So when I take the drops before getting into court, I know I'm going to speak properly and I know that my message is going to be conveyed. I'm not going to be nervous. So do whatever it is. It's going to be 2 years or 1 year if you already done PLT, and it's going to be done in no time. Don't forget that you are doing this for yourself. Hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope you are ready for your first court appearance, and good luck. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video.